What if death isn't the end, but a doorway to transformation? Near-death experiencers like Pam Reynolds, who accurately described her own surgery while clinically dead, return with impossible knowledge and lives radically changed. For instance, Pam Reynolds, clinically dead during surgery, accurately described the surgical instruments and conversations, and a 57-year-old man recounted details of his resuscitation from an out-of-body perspective. All later confirmed by medical staff, these accounts pose a significant challenge to purely physiological explanations of consciousness. From vanishing fear of death to overwhelming compassion, these shifts defy medical explanation. These changes are often so dramatic that they are characterized as a spiritual transformation. The enduring nature and deep integration of these transformations distinguish NDEs from transient psychological states. Studies have shown that these attitude changes are unusually persistent, with no significant diminution over periods as long as 2 decades. This persistence suggests that NDEs are not superficial emotional responses, but rather a fundamental rewiring of an individual's core being, representing a permanent paradigm shift in their view of reality and purpose. The fact that these changes are long-lasting and dramatic points to a powerful, fundamental impact on consciousness itself, challenging theories that dismiss NDEs as mere brain phenomena. If NDEs were merely subjective psychological phenomena or transient altered states, their consistent ability to produce such profound, positive personality changes wouldn't be the subject of this topic. These transformative effects have been documented for over a century and a half. The intensity of the NDE is strongly associated with the extent of these post-experience changes. This report aims to detail 10 of the most significant and consistently reported life transformations, providing an expert-level, evidence-based analysis of their nature and implications. And persistent changes that often defy conventional psychological explanations would be difficult to account for. The existence of veridical NDEs further complicates a purely physiological or psychological reductionist view, suggesting a potential for consciousness to operate independently of the brain. This raises fundamental questions about the nature of reality and the human mind, highlighting the limitations of current scientific models in fully explaining how such dramatic shifts in human behavior and values consistently occur. R&D's glimpses of an afterlife, or proof consciousness exists beyond the brain. The answers could rewrite our understanding of reality itself. A particularly compelling aspect of NDEs are veridical NDEs, where individuals accurately recount events that occurred around their clinically dead body, later verified by others. The profound and often mystical content of the NDE, such as feelings of unconditional love, cosmic unity, or encounters with a being of light, appears to be a direct catalyst for the subsequent transformations. NDEs are consistently described as life-transforming, leading to profound and persistent changes in attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. 2. The transformative power of NDEs. 10 key shifts. Near-death experiences consistently lead to profound, long-lasting positive changes in values, beliefs, and behaviors, aligning strongly with the concept of post-traumatic growth.
You're watching Soul Hypothesis. Don't forget to like and subscribe. May God's light shine upon you.
These changes are often so dramatic that they are characterized as a spiritual transformation. The enduring nature and deep integration of these transformations distinguish NDEs from transient psychological states. Studies have shown that these attitude changes are unusually persistent, with no significant diminution over periods as long as 2 decades. This persistence suggests that NDEs are not superficial emotional responses, but rather a fundamental rewiring of an individual's core being, representing a permanent paradigm shift in their view of reality and purpose. The fact that these changes are long-lasting and dramatic points to a powerful, fundamental impact on consciousness itself, challenging theories that dismiss NDEs as mere brain phenomena. This transformation often stems from experiencing overwhelming, unconditional love during the NDE itself, which subsequently becomes the hallmark of happiness and fulfillment in their earthly lives. Many NDErs come to believe that love is the most important thing in life and the fundamental reason for human existence, prioritizing it above all other values. Experiencers become less concerned with wealth, power, social position, and the approval of others. Instead, prioritizing intrinsic values such as kindness, love, and service over extrinsic ones. This reorientation of values can lead to significant life changes, including career shifts, as previous jobs may feel irrelevant or conflict with their newly adopted spiritual values. This shift manifests in a stronger desire to help and serve others. 1. Profound reduction in fear of death. While this can manifest as strengthened personal religious beliefs or increased formal religious activity, a more pervasive trend involves a shift away from rigid, denominational religion towards a universalistic understanding of God. Experiencers frequently report feeling they have returned with a specific task or a general mandate to serve others and embody unconditional love. This quest for meaning becomes a central driving force in their post-NDE lives, guiding their decisions and actions and providing a renewed sense of direction and significance. This increased sensitivity can lead to a greater desire to help and serve, often manifesting as a profound, unconditional love for everyone. However, this heightened awareness can also present challenges, as experiencers may feel others' pain more acutely or struggle with negative behaviors they encounter. Personal gain, especially at the expense of others, often becomes irrelevant, and there is a strong disposition to love unconditionally. This shift represents a fundamental change in worldview, where the individual perceives themselves as an integral part of a benevolent and purposeful universe. It's moving beyond self-centered desires to a broader sense of interconnectedness and universal responsibility. NDEs do not necessarily promote any one particular religious tradition, but foster general spiritual growth. Having faced the potential end of existence, they tend to live more fully in the present moment, no longer taking life for granted, and often experiencing a heightened zest for life. This transformation is linked to a renewed sense of the preciousness of existence and a determination to live life to the fullest. Experiencers often describe a heightened inward religious feeling and a profound sense of interconnection to the divine, which takes precedence over adherence to specific doctrines. Many come to identify as spiritual rather than religious, sometimes even abandoning organized religion entirely. This distinction is crucial, as it suggests the experience cultivates a fundamental shift in existential understanding, emphasizing universal principles of love and interconnectedness, rather than a conversion to a specific faith. The most consistent and frequently reported after effect of an NDE is a dramatic reduction or complete elimination of the fear of death. Individuals who experience NDEs often return with an unshakable conviction that they will survive physical death, transforming the idea of an afterlife from a mere probability to a certainty. This profound shift is a direct consequence of the NDE's content, which frequently includes a glimpse into an afterlife, a sense of continuity of consciousness, or an encounter with a being of light that radiates peace. The experience of death as a transition rather than an end fundamentally alters one's existential outlook. 2. Deepened compassion and unconditional love for others. Individuals who have undergone an NDE frequently report a greatly increased capacity for and desire to cultivate love and kindness for others. 3. Diminished materialism and focus on worldly achievement. A consistent and striking transformation observed in NDErs is a significant shift away from materialistic values, status symbols, and competitive tendencies. 4. Heightened spirituality and revaluation of religious beliefs. Many individuals become more spiritual or religious after their NDE, often reporting a deepened spiritual consciousness. 5. Enhanced appreciation and zest for life. Enders frequently emerge with a profound and broadened appreciation for life, including what they once considered ordinary things. 6. A renewed sense of purpose and meaning in life. Near-death experiences often instill a powerful belief that each human life has an inherent purpose or mission. 7. Increased empathy and sensitivity to others' needs closely related to their deepened compassion. Enders often develop heightened empathy, becoming more understanding and sensitive to the needs and feelings of others. 8. Shift from ego-centered to other-centered consciousness. NDEs prompt a profound reorientation from self-focused concerns towards a greater focus on others and the collective. Personal gain, especially at the expense of others, often becomes irrelevant, and there is a strong disposition to love unconditionally. This shift represents a fundamental change in worldview, where the individual perceives themselves as an integral part of a benevolent and purposeful universe. Moving beyond self-centered desires to a broader sense of interconnectedness and universal responsibility. This transformation can be attributed to the experience of unconditional love during the NDE, which fosters a deep sense of inherent value and acceptance. Experiencers may also develop improved resilience and adaptability, enhancing their ability to cope with life's challenges with greater self-assurance. 9. Greater self-acceptance and heightened self-esteem near death. Experiences often lead to a significant increase in feelings of self-worth and confidence. The depth or intensity of the NDE is positively correlated with the reported post-traumatic growth, suggesting a direct relationship between the profoundness of the experience and the extent of positive psychological and spiritual development. 10. Stronger opposition to suicide and affirmation of life's value. These include a greater appreciation and zest for life, an increased focus on the present, a deeper interest in self-understanding, a heightened sense of meaning and purpose in life, increased compassion for others. Heightened self-esteem, a reduced fear of death, and a diminished concern for material gain or status. Both NDE after effects and PTG involve positive psychological and existential development and self-perception, connections to others, and philosophy of life, frequently shifting from extrinsic life values to intrinsic ones. Notably, even individuals who identify as non-religious or atheists can experience spiritual growth in this context, engaging with fundamental existential questions. Despite a reduced fear of death, NDRs, particularly those who previously attempted suicide, often develop a strong and consistent opposition to suicide. While PTG can arise from various traumatic events, NDs are specifically highlighted as being particularly effective in precipitating such growth. The distinguishing factor of NDEs lies in their profound spiritual or mystical elements, which directly challenge and reshape an individual's fundamental beliefs about existence and an afterlife. This is distinct from other traumas that might challenge physical safety or relationships, but not necessarily one's core existential framework. The spiritual component of NDEs is not merely an aspect of growth, but a driving force that sets NDE-induced PTG apart from other forms. Understanding NDEs through the lens of PTG provides a valuable framework for clinicians and researchers, allowing for the application of established psychological models to these extraordinary experiences while simultaneously highlighting their unique spiritual dimension. Accounts of suicide-related NDEs are uniformly described as unpleasant, with experiencers learning that one cannot escape inner torment by ending life. This transformation profoundly affirms life's inherent value and purpose, reinforcing the belief that existence has meaning and that challenges are part of a larger learning process. Understanding the mechanism, NDEs, and post-traumatic growth, near-death experiences are strongly associated with greater post-traumatic growth when compared to close brushes with death that do not involve an NDE. The theory of post-traumatic growth posits that major life crises, particularly those that severely threaten an individual's fundamental understanding of the world or assumptive worldview, act as a primary stimulus for growth. NDEs, often involving encounters with the divine and challenging core existential beliefs, are particularly impactful in this regard. The process involves the individual's attempts to assimilate the stressful experience with their pre-trauma beliefs, leading to a rebuilding of shattered assumptions and an enhanced sense of meaning. Many of the reported after-effects of NDEs align directly with the changes observed in post-traumatic growth. This strong correlation suggests that NDEs represent a unique and potent form of PTG.
Enjoying this video? Don't forget to like and subscribe to Soul Hypothesis for more inspiring content. May God's infinite blessings be upon you.
While PTG can arise from various traumatic events, NDEs are specifically highlighted as being particularly effective in precipitating such growth. The distinguishing factor of NDEs lies in their profound spiritual or mystical elements, which directly challenge and reshape an individual's fundamental beliefs about existence and an afterlife. This is distinct from other traumas that might challenge physical safety or relationships, but not necessarily one's core existential framework, and shifts in personal relationships, sometimes resulting in what has been termed social death or alienation. The radical shift in an NDER's values, priorities, and personality often conflicts with the expectations and established dynamics of their existing relationships and societal structures. The spiritual component of NDEs is not merely an aspect of growth, but a driving force that sets NDE-induced PTG apart from other forms. A relatively high divorce rate has been informally observed among NDERs, often attributed to spouses being unable to cope with radical personality changes, dissimilar values. They may become more introverted or prefer different social engagements that align with their new perspectives. Or the NDER's experience of unconditional love, which can make a spouse feel less important or even jealous. This can lead to a pervasive feeling of being different from others, a sentiment particularly pronounced in individuals who had NDEs during childhood. Conversely, some marriages become closer and more meaningful, with spouses developing increased support and understanding. Understanding NDEs through the lens of PTG provides a valuable framework for clinicians. Positively, NDERs often report increased love and appreciation for their children, fostering deeper emotional connections and greater acceptance of family members. While research suggests that sharing and discussing the meaning of these experiences in supportive contexts is crucial for successful integration, experiencers often face dismissive or misunderstanding responses from family, friends, or even medical professionals. This can lead to isolation, misdiagnosis of mental illness, divorce, or job loss. The values, messages, and meaning derived from the NDE often conflict with the experiencer's life prior to the experience, yet they feel compelled to align their life with this new paradigm. This can create friction in almost all important areas of life, affecting relationships, careers, and finances. While NDEs offer immense individual growth, the collective infrastructure, medical, psychological, social, and religious, is often ill-equipped to support the integration of such radical changes. The conflict between an NDER's transformed values and the expectations of their existing relationships. These transformations, consistently documented across various studies, persist over decades, indicating a fundamental shift in core identity and worldview. The intensity of the NDE directly correlates with the extent of these transformative effects, suggesting a direct relationship between the depth of the experience and the magnitude of its impact. The consistent shift towards universal values, such as love, compassion, and non-materialism observed in NDER suggests a potential universal human ethical framework that emerges under extraordinary circumstances. For example, a spouse struggling with the NDER's newfound unconditional love or disinterest in career advancement. And publications such as the Journal of Near-Death Studies continues to advance global understanding through rigorous research, education, and support for experiencers. This ongoing scholarly and community effort is vital for both understanding the phenomenon itself and for providing necessary support to individuals. Navigating these life-altering experiences can lead to communication breakdowns, feelings of alienation, and even a higher divorce rate, but also provides a compelling testament to the human spirit's capacity for profound transformation and resilience. The consistent and deeply integrated changes observed in NDERs offer valuable lessons for living a more purposeful, compassionate, and existentially aware life. The lack of societal understanding and supportive frameworks for processing NDEs exacerbates these issues, often forcing experiencers into isolation or fear of invalidation. This underscores the urgent need for greater public education and professional training regarding NDEs to mitigate the relational costs that can accompany an individual's profound personal growth. Career changes are frequent, as previous jobs may no longer feel meaningful or may conflict with their new values, often leading to a shift towards charitable or service-oriented work. Changes in religious views are also common. Many NDERs no longer hold conventional views of heaven, hell, or God, and may abandon traditional religious communities in favor of a more universalistic spiritual outlook. Phenomena such as out-of-body experiences with veridical perceptions, where individuals accurately recount events while clinically dead, pose a significant challenge to conventional neuroscientific models that posit consciousness as solely an emergent property of the brain. If the brain is inactive, the occurrence of detailed, accurate perception suggests a potential for consciousness to exist or operate independently of the physical body. This leads many, including some physicians, Let's consider NDEs as a glimpse into the afterlife and possibly proof that the mind or soul can exist without the body. The consistent reporting of these elements, coupled with the profound and lasting transformations, pushes the boundaries of current scientific understanding, indicating that NDE research is a critical frontier for exploring fundamental questions about consciousness, the mind-body problem, and the very nature of reality. The transformations observed are not merely psychological, but appear to be ontological shifts based on an expanded understanding of existence. The profound nature of the NDE often defies earthly language. Leading to these can include heightened awareness and sensitivity to strong emotions, negative behaviors, electricity, chemicals, smells, and loud noises. While some embrace these new capacities, others find them surprising, disruptive, and unwelcome, requiring significant adjustment. Psychic abilities may manifest as enhanced intuition, telepathy, mediumship, or even automatic writing. For those with uplifting NDEs, a strong yearning to return to the home state of peace and love can develop, sometimes leading to depression or even suicidal ideation. Many have kept their experiences secret for decades due to these challenges. While many NDEs do not act on these thoughts, due to their newly acquired beliefs about life's value, the yearning can be an ongoing or intermittent struggle. Furthermore, NDEs may still be dealing with the physical pain, illness, or emotional traumas that preceded the experience, which can exacerbate feelings of homesickness, sadness, or anger about being sent back. The NDE is frequently described as equally real or more real than reality itself, leading to a lifelong adjustment period to integrate the physical and non-physical realms. This sudden diversion from an accustomed perspective on life can be a profound catalyst for change, but also a source of ongoing disorientation. However, the radical change in the NDE's character can be disturbing for family members, leading to a social death where the familiar personality and behavior patterns are lost. Communication within families can be significantly altered. Sharing the NDE can be difficult due to family incredulity, discomfort, or pre-existing communication issues. Invalidation from loved ones, including dismissive or misunderstanding responses from family, friends, or even medical professionals, can be particularly traumatic and isolating for the experiencer. And researchers, allowing for the application of established psychological models to these extraordinary experiences, while simultaneously highlighting their unique spiritual dimension, navigating the aftermath. Relational impacts and integration challenges. While the personal transformations following NDEs are largely positive, their profound nature can lead to significant integration challenges. Impact on relationships and identity. Family relationships are profoundly influenced by NDEs, with both positive and negative consequences. Marital relationships can either strengthen or strain following an NDE. Social circles may also be affected, with NDEs potentially experiencing a decrease in contact with friends if common interests are lost due to their transformed lifestyle and values. At a personal level, experiencers undergo a permanent and complete paradigm shift in their views of life, roles, reality, and death. Integration challenges. The integration process following an NDE can be lengthy. It's often continuing for years or even a lifetime, as individuals grapple with reconciling their physical reality with the profound non-physical experiences. One significant challenge is processing a radical shift in reality. Another common challenge is accepting the return and experiencing homesickness. Issues related to sharing the experience constitute a major challenge due to the fear of invalidation, ridicule, or judgment. Ineffability, making it difficult for experiencers to articulate their experience fully and resulting in feelings of alienation and isolation. Integrating new spiritual values with earthly expectations is another significant hurdle. Many NDEs report problems dealing with new sensitivities or psychic abilities that emerge post-NDE. The societal and relational costs of these profound personal transformations highlight a critical societal gap. Conclusion: the enduring legacy of NDEs. Near-death experiences are not fleeting phenomena, but powerful catalysts for profound, pervasive, and long-lasting changes in an individual's attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors. The study of NDEs offers unique insights into the nature of consciousness and its potential relationship to brain function, challenging purely materialistic views. Beyond the scientific inquiry into consciousness, NDEs highlight the profound human capacity for post-traumatic growth and spiritual development, even in the face of extreme adversity. The field of near-death studies, supported by organizations like the International Association for Near-Death Studies. In conclusion, the study of NDEs not only sheds light on the enduring mystery of consciousness,